Good afternoon and welcome to today's virtual session focusing on absence within Workday. This session will provide managers with further information on how to manage and track leave requests submitted by employees in their teams within Workday. This includes using the Absence app to view current leave requests, viewing the leave calendar to assist with leave planning, submitting a time off or absence request, how to initiate delegations when commencing leave, and cancelling and correcting absence requests. If you have any additional questions at the end of the session, you're welcome to contact our Ask HR team at askhr@uq.edu.au, or alternatively give us a call. For those of you who haven't accessed the Systems Training Hub before, we will navigate there from our UQ home page. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to click on Staff, then click on Current Staff. From here, we're going to scroll down and access Information Technology. Scroll down again and click on IT Training, and then select Systems Training Hub. From here, we're going to click on Human Resources Systems, and then click on Workday. At this point, you may want to add a bookmark. So from here, if we click on Employee Guides, and then click on Managing My Absences, you'll be able to see the simulation video, which we'll be going through later on in this session, as well as some quick reference guides for your employees, as well as FAQs. So if you have employees that are questioning on how they would submit their leave, I would suggest that you reference this particular website so that they can attempt to submit their leave through there first. Now, if you have a manager-specific query, you can go to the Manager Guides, scroll down, click Managing Absences, and then from here, you'll be able to see the quick reference guides, which includes leave reports and managing employees' leave requests or time off requests. This also includes further FAQs. So for the purpose of our session today, what we'll be doing is going back to the employee guides, and we'll be starting the video soon. So from here, I'll be starting the video and we'll be pausing at points throughout the video so that I can provide additional context where required.
Welcome to this instructional Workday video. This simulation will prepare you to manage your time off and leave in Workday. This includes how to distinguish the difference between time off and leave, view your available leave balance and projected future leave, view your upcoming time off or leave or your team's upcoming time off or leave, submit a request for time off or leave, and correct or cancel a request for time off or leave. For the purpose of this demonstration, any action that relates to both time off and leave will be referred to as an absence. Time off requests relate to shorter-term absence requests, for example, when you're taking annual leave, whereas leave requests relate to longer-term absence requests, such as parental leave.
So some additional context here. For time off, these are shorter-term absence requests. So these can include such types of leave such as annual leave, personal leave, sick and carers leave non-cumulative, long service leave, special paid leave, purchase leave, workers' compensation, and leave without pay for the first 3 months. These leave types are usually linked to an accrual, which means that they build over time and have a specific start and end date based on their leave period. The leave of absence, which are our longer-term absence requests, these include parental leave or primary caregiver leave, leave without pay, post 3 months, and secondments to external organizations. These leave types are longer in nature and may require follow-up to the beginning of the return to work. These are not linked to an accrual, which means that there is usually a set amount of leave that can be applied for based on the existing UQ policy and EDA. The start date of the absence request is known, however, the end date is an estimation only.
You'll find the Absence app on the home page. Click this to begin. Within the Absence app, you're able to view the upcoming absence requests and available balance for leave and time off. You're also able to make an absence request, correct or cancel an existing absence request, or request a return from leave of absence. You can also initiate several absence actions from your worker profile. Once on your worker profile, under Actions, then Time and Leave, it's also possible to make an absences request, view your existing absence request, view your available balance for time off and leave, and request a return from leave of absence. Now let's access the absence calendar to check your time off and leave balance. Click the Absence app on your homepage and then Request Absence. Once within the absence calendar, you're able to see the balances as of today's date on the left-hand side of the screen.
For some further context regarding your leave balances in Workday are overridden by the Orion leave balance as of the end of each pay period. So for the example, pay fortnight 25th September until the 8th of October, leave balances are overridden with the most recent accumulation of that balance as of the 9th of October. So you will see that effective balance as of the 9th for the period 25th September to 8th October.
To project your leave balances, enter the future date in the Balance as of field. Please note that the balance projection does not take into account planned future leave bookings. Let's look at how to check upcoming time off and leave we've already requested. Select My Absence to view absence requests. Under Absence Requests, you can see the upcoming time off and leave you've requested, including the relevant dates, type of time off or leave applied for, hours per day requested, and whether or not the request has been approved.
Absence requests viewed will have two statuses, approved and submitted. Historical leave prior to Workday Go Live will not be able to be accessed via this function. However, you will be able to refer to a record of any previous leave takings from your historical payslips. If you have any further questions regarding historical leave, please reach out to Ask HR.
Note this table will not be visible unless you have current absence requests. Let's look at how to submit an absence request. Click Request Absence to access the absence calendar. In the calendar, you can see any upcoming leave for the other members of your team, as well as any upcoming public holidays. To request an absence, you can either select the relevant dates in the calendar, or by selecting the date range using the button on the top left of the screen. Once the dates you want to take the absence on are selected, select what type of absence you're requesting.
As best practice across the university, it is suggested that before anything is entered into Workday, the manager and employee first discuss the leave request to be taken locally. Once an arrangement has been agreed upon, this request can then be applied for within Workday.
This page displays a summary of the time off you've requested, including the dates, type of absence, and the quantity of hours being taken off per day. The standard 7.25-hour workday will be applied to each day requested, but this can be edited by clicking Edit Quantity per day if the hours being requested are less than 7.25. For example, if you wanted the morning off to attend a personal appointment, but you didn't wish to take the full day off, you could request part of the day by adjusting the number of hours per day in your request. If you want to add any additional comments or documents relevant to your request, you can do so before submitting. It's important to note that some requests, such as parental leave, will require supporting documentation. Your absence request will now be sent to your manager for approval.
So leave types that are populated within the absence calendar and within this request form are based on the award or employment agreement that you're currently on. The quantity per day and total leave takings is based on the work pattern currently allocated to employees. In that way, a staff member who has a three-day work pattern of 7.25 hours a day and applies for a week of leave will have a lower balance than a full-time employee. Leave will not be shown on a day that, according to the employee's work schedule, the employee would not usually work. This includes public holidays and weekends. If there are any public holidays within the requested leave period, these days will not be counted as leave. That means that they won't be deducted from the employee's leave balance. The leave period cannot begin or end on a public holiday.
The unapproved request will display as a grey request box with a clock icon to indicate that it's been submitted. Once approved by your manager, this will change to green with a checkmark icon to indicate it's been approved. If you have an incomplete request submission, this will appear in your calendar as a blue request with a ribbon icon. An example of this would be a type of leave or time off with an outstanding attachment, for example, parental leave. This will also be flagged with an error message outlining the details of what's required. Once your request is approved, you'll receive a notification.
In terms of leave, some additional information for supporting documentations. So this can include medical certificates for personal or sick leave, or a document confirming the expected date of birth for the purposes of parental leave. Regardless of who submits the request, a notification will be sent to the employee updating them on an absence request submission. Employees will also be updated of the request's approval status. Your manager is then prompted to review the request and either approve it or send it back for more information. Managers will receive reminders for approvals 1 week after the request is made, and then daily until approved. Once it is approved, the absence partner will conduct a review of the request and either approve it, deny it, ending the process, or sending it back for further refinement. A manager can also initiate and approve on behalf of an employee all leave types that an employee can initiate. However, the employee is notified if they do this. A manager can also submit employer-initiated absences on behalf of an employee, such as absent without leave and special unpaid leave to count as service. The manager will always be at the time the request was submitted, even if the employee has a future dated job change that will move them away from this manager by the time the leave is taken.
5 days prior to your absence, you may be prompted to assign a delegate to manage your workday tasks in your absence. You'll be required to indicate the dates the tasks need to be delegated on, which typically align with the dates of your absence request. You'll also be required to select your delegate and an alternate if prompted, which should be someone no less than 1 management level below you. You can request either all tasks or specified tasks to be managed on your behalf by the delegate. You can also select whether you still receive notification of the tasks so you're aware of them while on leave. Once you submit this information, your manager will be prompted to approve or revise it.
It is important to note that for the purposes of delegations, managers can only delegate to an employee within their supervisory organization. Managers cannot delegate 2 levels down. It is recommended as best practice that you select the retained delegated tasks in the inbox checkbox when completing your delegation task, as this will provide you with a record of what tasks were completed while you're on leave. That's this particular section right here. If there is a delegation that has been approved, this will go to an alternate manager, and there is an option for the manager to receive that copy of the inbox items sent to the delegate during the delegation period.
Let's look at how to cancel or correct an absence request. You can locate the absence you want to amend in your calendar. To cancel, simply remove the row associated with the day you want to cancel. To correct, amend the aspect of the request that needs to change, such as the hours in each day. Enter any comments or attachments and submit the cancellation or correction. Once you submit, the amended request will again go to your manager for approval, and you'll receive a notification once it's been approved.
You may want to utilize this function to update future leave plans or amend a historical leave request that has since changed due to illness or operational requirements. As previously mentioned before in this session, managers can also initiate this correction process, which means that they can initiate this for employees that are unable to access Workday via their PC or their phone due to personal reasons. In these cases, if the manager is submitting this correction on behalf of an employee, the employee will still receive a notification of that leave request being corrected or submitted. Managers can also access the leave dashboard via the My Team Management app to view their team's leave. They can also identify staff within their team who have excess long service leave or annual leave balances by running the excess long service leave and annual leave report. This can be run at the supervisory organization level or for all subordinate units available to that manager. So for instance, the head of school can run a report for all subordinate supervisory organizations that report to them. Employees will also receive a weekly notification informing them of their excess leave balance, and this would be pro rata for part-time employees.
If you would like any further information on specific tasks mentioned in this video, check out the Systems Training Hub or contact Ask HR.
And that concludes our virtual session for today. We hope this has assisted providing more information regarding absence within Workday. And if you have any further questions, please give the team at Ask HR a call via 3365 263 or reach out to us via email. Thank you again and have a great afternoon.